Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the inspiration of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's sponsored by the Broward Center for Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. Well, when it comes to the Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the entire world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities, right here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, but really all over South Florida. They support the LGBTQ plus community and our nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. And we are excited to tell you about upcoming shows. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. And it's this. The rugby legend and longtime icon to the LGBTQ plus community, Ben Cohen, has made his acting debut in the British anthology series Patterns. The series rather ingeniously captures Cohen as himself, or rather as a poster of himself that comes to life to share words of advice to a closeted teen who idolizes him. It's fantastically campy, and really, who could complain about another opportunity to see the rugby hunk shirtless? But that's just the tip of the iceberg with Patterns, a highly high-concept comedy that introduces us to a world of eccentric characters and finds them all fitting in and out in 8 different genres across 8 distinctive episodes, all centered on LGBTQ plus themes. It's important that so many new shows and movies globally include LGBTQ plus themes and characters.
I need to go back to work. Nino must be wondering what's happened to me. He has texted me like 4 times.
I'm sure he knows exactly what's happened to you.
Well, maybe that's true, but I still need to go. Don't worry, I'll be back. Did you just cough?
Patterns, patterns, patterns. No matter how complicated the strands, how frayed the threads, how broken the connections, the mind will weave. We create, and we believe what we create.
The Hotspots Queer Entertainment is new British anthology comedy Patterns. Is chaotic, hilarious, confusing, but above all else, it's super gay. What do y'all think?
Well, I loved it. I loved the.
Did you see it?
So I did the little research about the whole how you can watch. You don't have to watch all in succession. You can watch them individually, and it all kind of get pieced
Like
together.
8 little
It's
mini
8
movies.
little mini movies, and they reference somebody from another episode and kind of comes together. I like it also how it's real life. You know, when we sit down at the table to film and we saw how our wonderful co-host coughed. Immediately, I was like, "Ew, is that real? Like you got COVID?" And then here it is. I also could share. I'm amongst friends. The opening scene where the guy said, "Hey, I need to get back to work." That was my life. That literally was my life today. I had to set Alexa for like 10 minutes, but I did a quick little romp and went right back to work. So I love how these things are truly within our
hold on one
community.
second. Did you just tell us it's like wham, bam, thank you, sir?
I had a break. I needed a moment, and there was somebody I could be like, "Hey, I got 10 minutes. You ready?"
All right.
10 minutes. They came. They did what they needed to do.
I see. So this was a documentary for you.
Art imitation is the best imitation
Art
of
expose.
art.
Right? I mean, we say it countless times from this table that, representation matters. So as more of these come out, the better it is for everybody. I mean, there's a writer's strike right now. So maybe some LGBTQ plus content that was on the cutting room floor might just make it to our homes. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, you can relate to them.
One of the things that's really interesting to your point and this, as I was watching the two of them in bed, I was thinking, now, and from my standpoint, I have watched that scene for 50 years. When I was a teenager, I watched that scene for 50 years. If you watched daytime soap, I'm in high school and I come home and maybe my mom's watching a soap opera. That was the scene. You watched that scene over and over and over again. The one big difference is it was a man and a woman. So we watched that scene with two men doing exactly what we watched on television in America on ABC 50 years ago. The point of watching that is not necessarily how important that scene is, but that it normalizes our relationships are exactly the same thing as the relationships we watched on ABC 50 years ago.
It's true.
Other thoughts? I guess there are no.
Well, I also like the fact about the beautiful woman. So as I was doing my research, I thought about Faye, like, how our dynamic of you have that good girl that you can hang out with, and you can.
I'm a good girl.
You are a beautiful woman.
What?
And the best girl ever, and the best beautiful woman that you can love on and
You
still
might
be
as well be
apart.
talking Russian right now because I have no idea what.
Me neither.
There we are.
But-
Wonder twins.
Whatever.
All right. The other thing that I wanted to ask about patterns being a UK generated accents, colloquialisms, etc. Do we just love it more because it's English?
I hate it. Wait, British?
English, British.
Like,
We love it more because it's British.
I know I like it because it's in English and I don't need subtitles. But
I'm not talking about the language.
know, I
I'm
get it.
talking
But the accents,
darling.
I don't know why. I just don't like British comedies, British
It's
humor,
the
British
sexiest
everything.
thing on the planet.
And my parents
except
had it in
for
the house
Australian.
all
if
the
this
time.
was produced in Sydney, I would even love it even more.
But I do love the rugby thing. I think out of all the athletes, rugby dudes seem to be like the most like comfortable with their sexuality. So good on you, Mr. Crop Top. I don't know what your name is.
Did you process at all that if you were interacting with the rugby dudes, they would probably hurt you?
Yeah, the train would be endless with you.
But you'd enjoy it.
I don't
He would
know.
get moist. He would get moist.
I think I'm way
They
more.
would bang his
I think
pussy.
I'm way
They would bang his
more.
pussy. They would just bang his
I
pussy.
think I'm way more
God.
dominant than you guys realize.
Yeah, clearly you
with
are.
rugby
'cause
players,
you
baby.
knew about
Wait,
pussy.
let's
Yeah.
take a quick vote. Do you believe that?
Hell no, I'd bend them over.
Do
and
you
Hell
believe
no,
that?
hell no.
Do you believe that?
Bottom.
I vote no. We're done. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks
that
for
concludes
participating
this
and welcome to
segment
the Price
of
is Right.
patterns,
All
because
right.
this is a
Training
pattern
ground
at
daddy.
this table.
It's the pattern that we've identified. All right. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ plus evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ plus community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.